tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I see.
Hello, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to another after show for the Real Housewives of Orange County. Tonight's episode, Satan Loves Confusion, and we're featuring parts of the one-on-one conversation that the Bedores had with Andy Cohen earlier tonight. So if you haven't seen that yet, we'll fill you in. We've got a lot of opinions.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of information.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We could not skip that. It wasn't an option.
No, I was determined to fit it in. I'm your host, Grant Rutter, and the panel is here. Let's go.
Woo! Hello, everybody. My name is Christy Olsen, and you guys can all hit me up at Christy Reports.
And I'm Alison Dean, and you can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean.
Hello, I'm Blake V, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
Very nice. Okay, let's talk about
We
our
are here.
shows.
That is who we are.
We are here. While you're checking that mistress pic,
Ooh.
go over
yeah.
to Twitter and follow us all.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Let's talk about what's going on in the OC. Brooks is not around for Brianna's visit, but there's a lot of things that are said. But Brianna's not holding back, and we of course that's why we love her. But she's saying, the vibe is different. There's a weird musk. It's heavy in here. This is all she said. It's uncomfortable. It's a nasty feeling with Brooks being around. And then so, yeah, that's the taste that we get from the very beginning. We know they don't like one another, but
Even
Right.
his former presence in the home just
musk.
bothers her.
It lingers.
Yeah.
I know, which we knew this going into this episode, though, with the whole Vicky Brianna encounter an episode or two ago where she straight up said she didn't want to stay in their family home, you know? So we kind of knew this sort of reaction was coming.
Right.
And in her defense, I mean, I think in general, when you're around people that have like weird vibes, you feel it. So then again, when someone's like living in your family home, they're like leaving an
Yeah.
imprint of that for
And,
sure.
And when you hate someone.
There you go.
yeah.
Could just be that.
When someone has implied that someone else should be violent towards you, maybe just gives you an overall icky feeling.
Yeah, she should have
Yeah.
like saged the house when she got there. That would have helped, maybe. I don't know, maybe.
I feel bad for her. I haven't been in a similar situation as her, thankfully, but I mean, it's like to go home to your childhood home and have a different dynamic sucks.
Oh yeah.
There's just no way around it. And that's kind of the first time that she's been there, I assume, since he's been there. And I felt bad for her because it's tough, especially when you want to be in Orange County and you live further away and that you still identify that as your family's home and it's just not the same. It's like everything changes and it's like you don't want it to.
Right.
Yeah.
I felt bad for her.
I totally did too. Yeah, there's a level of like heartache with the whole thing. You know, just the way she feels towards Brooks and her mother, and then just going back to the home, and the home is like now tainted because Brooks is there. It's like the whole thing is just like covered in Brooks, and it's so ugly for Brianna. It's sad.
And we learned for the first time that she found out that he was moving in by this bizarre video on Facebook that her mother put out, really kind of humiliating her. I mean, that's rude when you go, oh, well, I guess this is how my daughter's going to find out.
Well, no, I think it was from an episode last season. So I think it was when the episode aired or something. They took a clip
they took
of
a
it.
piece of
That's
it.
what it was. I think it was because I recall.
Brianna would have seen the episode. It looked like a personal video.
That's what I
I
thought.
don't
That
know.
was
That's
the
what was going
impression
through
I
my
under.
brain was like, oh, it was like a soundbite from one of the episodes because I feel like I remember that, like Vicky
Her
doing
saying
that.
that.
Yeah. I think I feel like I do.
Yeah.
People can clarify.
Well, we did find out a lot of good stuff for sure.
Yes.
During this.
Right. Yeah, that Thanksgiving video was weird.
Yeah, well, and kind of with Brianna's whole situation, it's got to be immensely strange to have a mother that's, choosing to be in the public eye like this too. She has chosen to be a part of the Real Housewives since season 1.
Yep.
She's the OG of the OC. And, really it's on her own accord. She has decided that she wants to be in this reality world. So Brianna has grown up with this mother who has chosen this sort of public lifestyle.
Yeah.
And now all of her situations and decisions are being televised. And, for Brianna to find out things secondhand to the public,
Not
it's
cool.
such a weird dynamic. It's just such a weird, mother-daughter relationship and just family dynamic.
Yeah.
I imagine
Yeah.
that's super hard for Brianna, too.
I mean, to be told that she doesn't know, she knows now. I mean, that's really tacky.
It's just interesting, too, the inconsistencies with kind of what Vicky is telling everyone about the relationship versus, even Tamra talking to Brianna and saying, so what's going on? How has your family received him? And she's saying they all hate him. And Vicky was telling the women something other than that. So I think that's interesting, too, is Vicky's just not being totally
Yeah, she's really
honest.
Because
She's
we know
working
who to
hard.
believe. We know who to believe out of Vicky and Brianna. Come on now.
Vicky's working overtime this season to protect his ass.
Seems so.
And it's
She truly
exhausting. It must
is.
be exhausting to have to keep that up. It's tiring to watch. I mean, come on. The guy, we saw the flashback from the previous reunion where he said point blank, I don't regret anything I said. I mean, come
Oofta.
on.
Yeah.
How can we keep defending this guy? Come on. Let's
Right.
look through. Let's be real about this. Did you catch when Brianna, I guess, we had this last season. Is it Brianna or Brianna? I don't know. I hear both on the show, so I don't know. And names are important to me, so I feel bad not knowing the right name. But sorry, girl. So yes, Brianna, she is saying that she feels like Vicky chose him over her, and she kind of put that out there, and that's a big statement to make. Of course, we know this, but
Yeah, and
black
I feel
and
like
white.
she said this too, multiple times. I've heard her say that her mother keeps choosing Brooke over her and over her family, which I do feel like it is a really hard situation for Vicky. Only because, obviously it's your children and it's your flesh and blood and you want to be close to them and everything. But if she truly is happy with Brooks, no matter how awful he is, on a very small level, if that's who she loves and wants to be with, I do think it's hard for her. Everybody else can hate all day long. But, as bad as it is, if she finds some kind of happiness with him, it's just very hard for her to be put in that position. And then even Brianna saying she's choosing him over us, I don't think it's quite that black and white. I think it's probably deeper. I mean, clearly she keeps him in her life very much long term and she fights all his battles and she does everything. So there's got to be some glimmer of something that she, loves about him. And so it's hard to, I think, be put in that situation where everyone is saying, oh, you're choosing him over us. Although it may very much seem that way, I think there's more to it.
I don't. I think she's clearly chosen Brooks over her family. This is someone who has said terrible things about her daughter. This is someone who's done terrible things to Vicky. He has admitted
That's true.
to cheating on her. There was that whole situation with the vodka and the lawsuit. This is not a good guy. And I think when Brianna says, oh, that Vicky is choosing Brooks over her, her implication is more so just why on earth would my mother want to spend time with this guy at all, ever, under any
be with this kind of
circumstance?
person.
Much
never
less
got
when
it,
she
yeah.
knows that we all disapprove of him and that he's hurt Brianna. I think it comes from more of a baffled place.
Yeah. Have we ever heard Vicky straight up say why she is with him? Has she defended it to the point of saying these are the reasons why I stay with him? Because I don't feel like we have heard that. She's been very adamant in saying yes, I will continue to be with him, but she's never really broken it down or defended.
I love him because he does this.
Yes. No,
I
truly.
think you're
Yeah.
right.
She's never said he
Yeah.
takes great care of me. He's so trustworthy.
She's taking care
He's
of
always
him.
there for me. He's so kind. We've never heard any of that.
None of
She's
that.
taking care of him.
Maybe
She's
one
taking
thing.
the dinners. She did the birthday. What's the one thing?
No, I feel like there might have been one time where she.
Well,
He
did
had
get
that
the fur
fake fur
coat.
coat for her that one time.
She bought herself.
We're so in tune.
like
Yeah,
my
the
mind.
fake fur coat. That's probably a rental for the episode.
We never saw it again.
Okay, when they first started dating and he was writing her notes and things like that, I think she was sort of emphatic about how she loved the attention that he gave her or something
She
like
did
that.
say that he filled up her love tank, which has been a recurring character on this
But
franchise.
we
Recurring
haven't heard
issue.
that this season at all.
No.
Or did we hear it last season?
I don't think so either.
Anyway, I feel
really
like it's been her love tank has not been discussed in a very long time.
It hasn't.
And that is a deficiency, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would agree.
I know.
We suspect she's running on E.
Well, she's one to bring it up all the time, and we haven't heard it, so...
In a while.
Vicky brings Tamara into the mix on a second topic, and we'll get to Shannon in a moment and that whole thing with the medical records, but she brings her in to talk to Brianna from the conversation they had in Tahiti. And it's like, I get that they're close, but I mean, she's really got Tamara working for her. That's not Tamara's job.
I did not like that. Yes, because she just sent Tamara to work, clearing up all the dirty laundry and sort of, being her middleman to the rest of the girls and being like, defend Brooks, defend our situation on issue number 1. And then number 2, now she's sending her out to speak to Brianna and like smooth things over there. It's like, why? Number 1, why does Vicky think that Tamara is the one that needs to take that sort of responsibility in all
Absolutely.
of this? And number 2, Tamara keeps doing it. And granted,
Yes.
and granted, she did have a little, afterthought with the initial request of defending Brooks, but even still, I feel like she sort of set out to like perhaps still relay that information. So she keeps doing it, and so I wonder why on that angle too.
I think
She's a little scared of Vicky.
I think it is.
Yeah. But they've already gone through a period of not being friends. Is Vicky's friendship so, does it mean so much to Tamara that she's willing to do all of these, requests for her and really, carry everything through just to keep Vicky in her good graces?
Well, I think right now it just seems that, especially with sort of Tamara's new direction and like finding her faith and all that stuff, I feel like she's trying not to like burn bridges with anybody, and so that's sort of playing into the reason why she's just trying to like keep things very copacetic with Vicky, and she doesn't want to like, I don't know, make waves on some level, but it's
By
definitely
saying no.
By saying no.
By saying no, I won't do
mean,
that.
it's not like she's really doing exactly what Vicky said anyway, because she kind of went to the girls and was like, so, here's what happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just think she's trying to make nice with everybody.
When she got a lot of flack at the end of last season for doing too much, stirring up too much stuff and getting too much in everyone's business, and there were rumors following that she was going to get kicked off the show for it.
I recall.
So maybe this is just part of a tactic too, to like keep in line, stick to the story, do what she's supposed to do, and keep that paycheck coming.
I think you're right. She should have said no. In a world without cameras and story producers, I don't think she would have been bothered. But she's playing ball. It's part of the show. You've got people like, production waiting for these things to happen. So, and I mean, for me, I would want, if I were Tamara, I would want to meet with Brianna anyway and talk to her about the situation. But I wouldn't be meeting with her to sway Brianna in the opposite direction of liking Brooks, though. I would want to get the dirt. Like, what's been going on since I saw you last? They even said it's been a while since we've seen each other. Like, what's it been like? And we got a lot of good information, and I want to get into all that, but I would have wanted to know the real dirt.
Yeah, and one other thing that I wanted to bring up too, I'm kind of surprised that Brianna is so cool with Tamara. Brianna's just like a straight shooting, truthy, stand-up kind of a lady, and Tamara's done and said a lot of stuff in her day, and I'm just kind of would more guess that Brianna would think that Tamara is just like someone she shouldn't bother with.
Actually, I because of kind of how Brianna said, what I appreciate about Tamara is the fact that she's no BS. I think that really does it. That's Brianna. Like, she's very no BS. And so...
And Brianna did say that she and Tamara sort of bonded over the dislike of Brooks. So that might have been something that kind of brought them together and had, like, staying power for their relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, they have mutual respect for one another. What were we going to say?
Oh, nothing. No,
okay.
It'll work great when Brianna's on the show.
Yes.
Whenever that may happen.
So they were talking about how both of them kind of give up when it comes to the Brooks situation, and we learned that he has not been around the kids at all. She laid it down. It's not
Never,
happening.
not once.
Nope.
Never, not once is what she said.
Yes.
Well,
Never, not
Good
once.
viewing.
I can understand that. I wouldn't want, if I felt that way about someone my mom was seeing, I'd be like, nope, not happening.
Yeah.
And there's nothing he can do to redeem his image in her eyes.
Hey,
I loved that she said that.
Yeah.
That was such a great explanation of like, Vicky keeps going, why can't Brianna just come on board and why can't she get over it? To Brianna, she feels that she knows who this guy is,
Right.
and she
Yes.
doesn't need to know him, and she doesn't need to know anymore, and that's understandable.
Well, the part that got
Yeah.
me the most was when she kind of went into detail about Brooks's sort of like self-misdiagnosis. Yeah, where she said when she first met him, he had very clearly said, "Oh yes, I had pancreatic cancer years ago." And she said that from her nursing background, she sort of went down that pathway of questions and sort of asking him, you know, how and what were the procedures and the surgeries and the timeline and like how on earth are you in remission from this? And sort of got out of him that, oh no, it actually wasn't pancreatic cancer, it was pancreatitis, which is not cancer. It's a very different situation.
Not even close.
Yeah, and she
No.
pointed out it was from excessive drinking or alcohol. Was the real what she really said.
Yeah, which often it is. Often it is a case of that. And so, you know, the fact that he took that scenario and spun it into a cancer sort of situation, making it such that, you know, people should feel bad for him for this sort of scenario. And you know, that really, after Brianna said that, I really saw her angle and I really saw her disbelief in anything that he says now.
Well, come on, yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't know that until tonight's episode. Yeah, we had known some other, you know, fallacies and strange things that had come about with him. But Brianna finally set it straight and said, like, no, he completely, essentially lied about his diagnosis.
He's already lied about cancer.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
Completely.
And how did we knew all this terrible stuff about Brooks? How do we not know that he's a crazy drinker?
Yeah.
I felt like that's what they've been implying the last couple of weeks with like keep
Yeah.
asking him about the chemo and the liquor
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But like apparently
It's
now they're going there.
true.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
planted the
that's true.
seed and now we know.
Well, I mean, I just feel like that's so blatant in itself. It's like if you are truly fighting for your life,
Yeah.
your life.
Yes.
Are you going to drink it all?
No.
You're not going to drink it all.
Juice.
Truly.
Fresh.
I mean, once it gets
juice.
Yeah.
once it gets terminal, all bets are off.
Yeah, and he's even well, fair enough.
Fair enough, Christy.
I guess there is a window of time where like you really, you know, are trying.
you gotta give it a go. Yeah.
Well, Brianna also spoke, I hope I'm saying this girl's name right. She also spoke the truth when it came to the situation if Vicky's mother was on board with this relationship. You alluded to this earlier. What do we think? Let's put it on the table.
I mean, I believe Brianna. I've
Yeah.
said this before, episodes ago. I think that she's
The truth teller, you
well,
believe all.
It's just she has no reason to lie about things. I mean, I don't think that she probably gets paid a little bit to make her appearances, but it's not to the point where she's really gaining so much. I mean, she lives not in Orange County. You know, they bring her in to, I really think, become a barometer of like truth for the show. I do. So
great.
yes, I tend to think that if she's speaking, she's not lying to us. I just don't get that from her. That's not her character to me. She's a mom now, and she's just a neat, no BS kind of a gal.
Yeah.
We've known her for a lot of years.
Yeah.
She was never one to like light a fire and then run away.
Right.
It's not her character on the show, so.
Right, and we were kind of questioning about Vicky's mom. Like, I didn't think that Vicky's mom was the type who would be cool with Brooks and the whole thing. And even when we have seen some scenes with the brother clearly getting along with Brooks and that they're buddies, I kind of thought, even that.
Yeah, well, and I think the hard thing too is that, you know, for one, Vicky said those little things in a sort of a little flashback clip moment where she said the things that her mother said to her just before she passed, and it was sort of like, you know, comforting, you know, positive things of like, if you're happy, I'm happy, it's all good, you know. So then that makes me want to think like, well, you know, Brianna or anyone else really is not there for the words that are said between someone and their mother or, you know, what have you. So the mom may very well have said those things right before she passed. But then, of course, in the back of my mind, I do think back to when Vicky was going to her mother's funeral and Brooks still couldn't come to that. So,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
you know,
Good point.
so it's either
Oh, wait, didn't he go?
No.
he didn't.
No, he had to stay
Remember
at
they were in
home.
the bathroom. She was getting ready to go.
Yeah.
And she even said, she's like, I'm so
right,
I'm so
okay. I
upset
remember
because
now.
like you're my family, I love you, but I can't bring you to this horrible thing with me. It's it's so awful. So if it was the mother that hated him, you could go one of two ways. You would either say out of respect she didn't bring him because he didn't, she didn't like him, or because she's gone she could bring him. Either way you could think. But really it's just it's hard to sort of gauge the truth of like the mother's opinion and the family's opinion, I think.
If everyone in the family knew and acknowledged that Vicky's mom liked Brooks and was cool with their relationship, then it would certainly be acceptable to bring him to her funeral. So I think you're right. The fact that he felt that he couldn't go to that means that she was not cool with him.
Yeah.
Unless Brianna said, I'm not going to the funeral if he's there.
Right. See, or other family members. Like maybe the mother did finally say like, look, life's too short, all's good.
Right.
If you're happy, I'm happy, fine. But maybe other family members said, no, absolutely not. Brianna might have only been one of them.
Vicky's brother looks like he's kind of on board with Brooks, though. Like, he's pretty sympathetic towards Brooks' situation.
Yeah.
They've been buddy in some scenes, and
Yeah.
they're probably drinking buddies.
They might be.
Could be. Could be.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
be.
So Vicky truly might be coming of a place from really split accommodation. Like half of her family might be cool with him and they might just say, look, it's your life, do you, if you're happy, fine. The brother seems to be fine with it, and I think she's dealing with sort of this other half that's really giving her a hard time about it. And I think it's a tough spot. I do, I know that there's a lot of bad things about Brooks, and believe me, I'm not like a fan of his or anything. But at the same time, Vicky's fighting so hard to just be with him. It's like, at some point, it's almost like you kind of have to be like, fine.
Where's Dawn
Fine.
when you need him?
Oh, Dawn.
I know.
Dawn could
We're
swoop
missing
her away,
Dawn.
I feel like. Remember, they both talked about regretting the divorce. I feel like he could swoop in there and make
Yeah.
Brooks an afterthought.
Yeah.
Would that be great?
It would be a great story.
Into that family.
Everyone liked Dawn.
That
I mean,
Gunvalson family.
He didn't. I mean, Dawn was Dawn.
He was just
You
Dawn.
know
Yeah.
Vicky would get that money back. That'd be the first thing. She'd get that money right back in the account where it came from. That's what she's thinking.
She's got numbers on the mind.
She does. She's even thinking about leaving
Selling
her
the
business.
company, yeah.
That was a shock.
Yeah. What does she need the money for? I don't know. But yeah, working Vicky, I can't imagine. I thought she'd work till she's dead. I mean, like.
I know.
Work herself to death.
Truly, I was surprised to hear that she would retire.
Well, she says that now because in theory it sounds good to her to say that, but whether she would actually act upon the things that she's saying, because we all know she is a worker bee.
She is. And even if she did sell that business, I guarantee she'd like start up another one.
Use the money.
Yeah, just to have something to do.
Well, I think it's the grandma thing that's getting to her finally. She wants to have time to spend with the grandkids
That's true.
and to play that role. I
Yeah.
think that's maybe softened her a teeny bit.
She doesn't want to have to like
gotten
rush
to her
back
a
to the
little
office.
bit. Yeah.
Oh, but that doesn't stop her from saying, I need to get back to work at every other moment that we see her.
True. It's true.
She's shopping for
It's true.
dresses with Tamara. Got to get back to work. Brooks got the IV
Can
going
we
in
hurry
his
this
arm.
up?
Got to go back to work.
Yeah. Hurry it up. Hurry up.
Can't be
that IV.
bothered.
The lunch scene with Shannon and
Heather?
blanks. Yeah, Shannon and Heather and
Tamara.
Thank you.
I got you, Grant.
Thank you. All these people. It was good. It was nice to see like that Shannon had a moment with them. And what were they talking about though before we move over to Shannon and where she stands? What was the conversation they were having at that lunch? More along the lines of
The results.
The results, right? Oh yeah, why Tamara was the only one that saw the papers.
Well, yeah, and it was weird because Heather was also a little taken aback at why, Terry wouldn't have been there because he's, a doctor and to look at, what the results of the PET CT scan was. And
Yeah.
I thought that was funny, like just how she reacted to that. Well, what about Terry?
No, truly.
Oh, Heather,
Yeah.
Terry, yes. Yes to that.
My takeaway from that moment also was that Tamara said to the ladies that Vicky at some point, and I'm not quite sure the timeline on this of like when she had said this to Tamara, but Tamara said that Vicky had news for her and told her that Brooks' cancer had spread.
Oh.
Remember?
Yeah.
So I don't
It was
know.
when they were talking about the resveratrol and how he
Okay.
was going to use
Oh,
it
yeah.
to
Tamara
boost
did
his immune system.
Right. And Tamara did say when Vicky had this news, but I just don't remember when it was. But Yeah. So Vicky at some point, fairly recently, I'm sure, has said, "Oh no, it's spread." So now it's like a bigger situation than it is.
Well, yeah, and maybe that came from the last week. Remember he said
When he
that
went to the doctor and they were talking about the lump.
the lumps. Yeah, so maybe that's why they were bigger in size. Yeah, I don't. Who knows?
Who knows? Truly.
I mean, we still sit here
Does anyone on this
speculating.
panel believe in any way, shape, or form that Brooks has any kind of cancer right now, or did during this time?
I will say it's not 0%. Like I do,
Yeah.
I feel like my belief is like maybe 50-50 at this point.
Mainly,
I think I'm at 0.
You're at 0.
Mainly though
Yeah.
because we don't want to believe that someone would lie about this. I
Yes,
think that's the thing.
That's what's keeping me in the game. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
it's got to be something because
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Who would really
And-
lie about it?
And more
But-
so about Vicky than Brooks. Because if Brooks is lying about it, fine, we don't care about him. But we care
Vicky
about,
knows,
we care
yeah.
about Vicky. And if Vicky knows, that
Yeah.
would that's like a game changer.
Oh, you know
That's
what?
something that they could never reveal to the audience.
I know.
Even if they all find out, they have to keep that under wraps because she will be done with this show if the fans think that she duped us in that way.
I wish we created at the beginning of the season like a thermometer. And it was like full belief. And kind of chipping away. And like for me, we have to erase a few points when it came up to the pancreatitis thing tonight. Because I was like, oh, okay, now we got... Because she even said, she's like, I'm putting on my RN hat now. And,
Right.
you know, ER nurse, like... Here's the deal. And so I was like, okay, yeah. So it's really low for me, the believability of this point. And for you, it's just empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, like
I
maybe it was an
know.
exaggeration and it's the timing with the show and this and that, but no.
You know, and the truth is he could easily just say, "And I'm cured," and it's so true,
Yeah.
and we would never.
And we
know.
would
I mean,
never
there's no,
Right.
there's really never
And-
knowing.
No, and we have all said this. Brianna said this in
Yeah.
the episode tonight. She did say, you know, well, it could be going all down this route, or on the other hand, he could just say he's
Yep.
cured.
Yep.
You know, and so we've all been playing with that potential outcome.
Yep.
Sometimes with these shows, right after the reunion or even on the last week, some type of news breaks, something happens. So I'm curious to know if
There's gonna be like leaked test results or something.
What's gonna happen to keep this going? Because now they're broken up. He's not gonna be on the show apparently. She's sworn off him. She went on Periscope and said it's over. We're not gonna be together anymore. We're not meant to be together in this lifetime or something along those lines.
As he moves back into her house. Yeah.
Satan has won.
Yeah.
Satan confused everyone enough.
So I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about the nice moment that Shannon had with the ladies where she said, you know, like, you guys knew, basically, she revealed that she had this affair, and they were like, yeah, it wasn't a
And we
huge
were all
surprise.
like, wait, what? They were all still pretending like they didn't know? We didn't
Every
even
single one of
realize.
us, we were like, what?
Yeah, we're like 2 full seasons in of us pretending that people don't know this.
I know. God, that was the longest kept secret in any of these seasons.
Yeah.
Right?
Jeez, it was like to the point of surprise. We're like, what? They
Well,
all
not
know?
for me. I knew.
Oh.
I mean, I was the.
Christy and I were clearly
I was like,
confused by the whole thing.
I had a moment. I was like, huh?
What is she talking about?
Yeah, we're like,
Well,
everybody
because
knows.
even when on the last trip, it was, you know, she said to Vicky how thankful that she was for Vicky and all that jazz. So anyway,
Oh, I guess I've got like,
it's all right. I know it's
I've
a
got-
long season. It's
yeah,
a long
is.
season.
and I've got
It's
Shannon
that-
Affair like on replay in
Yes.
my
Oh,
brain,
yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like all I know about.
Right.
How does anyone not know about this?
I feel you.
Well, let's move towards this one-on-one. We'll dig a little
The
deeper.
juice.
Yeah.
More juice.
Yeah,
Mas
let's
juice.
talk about it.
Mas juice.
Well, it started with them all acknowledging that it would be a difficult conversation, and David actually reached over and touched Shannon's leg and kind of grabbed her hand, like,
I'm here
"All
for
right,
you, babe.
yeah,
Yeah.
like let's go into this together."
Yeah, David said he's doing it because the people on social media have just been so lousy towards Shannon, and he wants to kind of clear the air, I guess, and he's doing it for her. But yeah, I mean, talk about like a not enjoyable topic. And Andy Cohen didn't really look like he could be bothered.
Okay,
I
I have a question, guys.
Just saying, watch the body language. Drives me crazy.
Pay
Go
attention
ahead.
to that. Okay, so I'm trying to put myself into Shannon and David's shoes. And I'm thinking, would I do this one-on-one? Like, if you're already documenting your relationship and everything in the season, and we all see everything that goes on, like, what is the true purpose of this one-on-one? Okay, so we have David saying that he's really just trying to, you know, take the heat off of Shannon, essentially, right? But do we really think that is the reason? Do we think that it was him that wanted to? Do we think it was Shannon that wanted to?
Do we think they got paid extra to do it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think no doubt they got
Do they
paid
need
extra.
the money?
Well,
that's a good
I know.
You know,
See,
for most couples, I would say, like, yeah, they're doing it for extra, but those two are pretty much an open book on this show.
Yeah.
They're not
That's
hiding
true.
too
That's
much.
true.
and I know, and that's the thing is the things that they're sharing about any of this. Like, it makes me like shrivel when I hear it. I'm just like, ugh. Like, I can't even imagine. Number one, these things happening, but number two, like, to relive it and share it with the world, I just am like, oh my lord.
Yeah.
The big question to me was, why is this not just part of the reunion? Normally they would just pull him out during the reunion and make them sit there and say all this stuff with the other
front of
ladies
everyone.
sitting right there.
I think
I'm kind
he
of
wanted-
surprised it's not what they did.
I think they wanted more time with them or
Yeah.
something. Or
Yeah.
they couldn't get a guest that night. I don't know. I mean,
No, I mean, I definitely
Always
think
a
it was a
possibility.
ratings situation. I mean, I was interested. Weren't we all interested?
oh yeah.
Like,
yes.
regardless of their reasons for doing it, I totally wanted to watch and see what they had to say.
I mean, I believed him. Like when he said, you know, I didn't want to do this show. I don't love cameras. I believe all that. He doesn't look like he loves cameras. He doesn't look like it's a natural thing for him. So I did believe when he said, you know, I want to deflect some of this attention off of this negative attention off Shannon. And if there's questions for me or questions about any of this, then I will answer them.
Right.
So
Well,
I thought that was kind of big of him.
They never said last
agree with you.
week that this was happening. And I don't know when you guys find out about this special, but I'm wondering if maybe after they shot the reunion, they were like, wait,
Oh,
we have some
extra.
things we need to address with Shannon and David. Let's put them on one.
Yeah, that's totally
Yeah.
possible.
Totally, or
Right.
like in light of the whole mistress reveal.
Yes. Oh.
I think
That's
that-
what I thought.
I think that
watching
brought
it,
on a lot of
yeah.
questions. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was certainly interested in finding out their side of things and sort of what, you know, like the truth of it all. But what sort of got me too was that Andy specifically asked Shannon, have you spoken to this other woman at all? And she was like, no, I have never. I have not once. Oh, just kidding. Yes, I have.
I've seen her twice. We've texted. We were on the phone.
I called her husband.
And
we
she
ju-
said that
Yeah.
before. We
Yeah.
knew that. Shannon has told the story about talking to Mr. on the phone. So I was
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about?
I know. So her initial reaction of like, no, I have never, like, no, and it almost sounds to me like I really want my mind to focus on Vacation Shannon because that's my favorite Shannon, and I want to think of Shannon that way always. But the reality
I
is,
love it.
I know, but the reality is that we deal with this whole affair situation all the time with Shannon and David, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, the issue for me is that he was having this affair. And then it's sort of unclear to me as to when or how or why he came back to Shannon. Because it seems like she was meddling in the situation and sort of making it like she is sort of ultimatum-ish. None of this was said. This is purely my speculation. But I just feel like I haven't gotten any sort of clear answer from David as to, like, I had an epiphany and I love her and I needed to come back.
No.
It was nothing like that.
No.
So that's where I'm at on that.
Where's
The
turning
mistress just
point?
didn't want him. The mistress didn't want him, is what it sounds like. Like, she was like, oh, he's obsessed with me, blah, blah, blah. Like, he just left his wife. She wasn't leaving her husband. I think that's what it was. She,
Well,
didn't,
wait,
she
is
was like,
that
oh,
how-
wait a minute. Now that you're actually leaving your wife, never mind.
Is that how they're spinning it? I mean, we're getting
know.
that's the story that we're getting, and we're probably not going to get any other version from him right now because this is the story he's sticking to.
Yeah. We still have some unanswered things.
We do,
Certainly.
and I don't know if
Yeah.
we'll ever have.
We may never.
Right.
Truly.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty bold of her to be on the phone with that mistress and say, look.
Sorry.
Say it wrong. and say, I want my family back, and to back off. And then that's when she did, right?
See, yes,
was
and
the
that sounds a
moment.
little threat-ish to me. That sounds a little ultimatum-ish to me.
Ish.
I think that, you know, things could have very well gone a different way, and she could have said, you've gone off with this other woman, F you, don't ever come back to my house.
Right.
And then that would be where we are. So, you know, she's talking a little bit of game when she says, oh, if he had stayed, I don't think I would have accepted him back. Well, but you did, because he did all this, and you still have him back.
Yeah. Let's
Anyway,
talk.
that's where I'm at.
I want to talk more about this woman who we did learn is married, and she befriended Shannon through basketball games.
Well,
We know
so
more
bizarre.
info. Let's fill in the blanks.
So David is the coach of their daughter's basketball team, and so the woman enrolled her daughter on the team so that she could deliberately have conversations and befriend Shannon and get intel on the relationship that she and David were having at that time. So that leads me to believe that any story that she's saying about him being obsessed with her, I don't know. That sounds pretty obsessive to me.
That's some
in the
soap
reverse
opera stuff. Like, that's some Sheila Carter. Like I don't even watch some crazy
Scary
like psycho.
almost.
Yeah,
It's a little creepy.
Very creepy.
It's a little creepy.
And now I wonder
Mind
if this
games.
woman will now tell her story.
Oh, we don't need it. We've heard it. I don't need it.
well,
I'm not reading
Grant,
anything.
I would watch it. I would listen.
You would?
I would.
If Andy gets her to sit down,
No.
Well, then he really wouldn't watch it.
I don't dislike him. I just feel like we gotta bring a little bit more of our A game to these interviews. Let's sit up in the chair and let's really get into it. Let's read questions from cards. Like let's get to the brass tacks of what's going on. That's what I'm saying about these one-on-ones. Just saying. But I don't know.
I almost feel like it might be in the cards.
You know
that
what?
this
For
woman
sure.
comes out
Yeah.
because now they've had this whole one-on-one special where they're straight up like calling her out and saying all this stuff about her. I feel like it's definitely a possibility that
mean,
she
they-
might
oh,
come out
Lord.
with something to defend herself if she has any defense in this. You know?
I would look. I mean, when you guys pulled up the picture, I was one of the first people to be like, "Wait, let me see." So, okay, but I feel like I need a little Real Housewives of Orange County break before I get into it anymore, though. I just feel like, how many episodes are we in? Like,
well,
20?
Ian, yes.
7,000.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a long time. So I feel like, let's give you like 5 minutes and then I'll look at the show.
okay, so if you get your hiatus between seasons and the next season comes back and Mistress is the new housewife, how will we feel about that?
I don't know how I feel about that, actually.
I really don't think Bravo would do that.
No, I don't think they would
Yeah.
either.
That would be so disrespectful. That'd be the biggest F you ever.
And I feel like I wouldn't want to watch that. Like I want
Yeah.
to see her on like on a sit down or on some sort of interview, like pleading her case. Sure, that's what I want to watch. But I don't want to see her as a housewife.
See, I don't even think they're. I don't think.
I don't think they would do that either.
I don't think Bravo's going to give her a platform at all.
No, I don't think so.
I really don't think they're going to give her a platform at all because they're Team Shannon. That's their girl. She's in the clubhouse. She's on the show.
She gets the one-on-one.
She's also not going anywhere. I don't think.
Right.
Yeah,
I think they
she
could.
shouldn't be. Yeah. I like her.
She has a lot of people behind her, so I don't think that they would do anything to.
Harm her so blatantly.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be pretty bad,
Yeah, that's pretty awful.
Yeah.
But one other point I want to bring up is that they saw her at this public event that they go to every year, and Shannon claims that this girl went out of her way to go there with her husband to see them, and they stood in line right behind them. This girl's got some barrier problems. This girl really is out of soap opera. At least that's how we're being.
See, that's the thing.
Introduced.
Because maybe, their kids really do go to the same school and they are on the same team and maybe their meeting did happen. And then maybe whatever event they were they didn't say what event it was. So maybe it might have been like a community thing or like a school thing or like a thing that many people can go to. I mean, they did say it was a community event or whatever. So, it just... Devil's advocate, there's a very tiny possibility that there could be like an alternate
I'm really trying here.
reason.
I'm really trying. I'm like, what are even if it was a community event, I would let 5 couples go in front of me. You don't
If you
no,
were
I
the
don't.
mistress and her husband.
How about if it's just
I don't want to
something
be
that
anywhere
you
near you.
think there's even a possibility that
Right.
the guy
could be
you had
there.
an affair with and his family would be there, that you don't take your husband and your kids to the same place.
Oh yeah, not dealing with
I
someone
mean,
that's all
clear
there.
distances at least. If you have to go, I mean, clear distance.
When they said it, all I could think of was like the OC fair.
I know.
That's all I could think of. I was like, what could it be?
That's what I'm thinking, like
could very
families
well.
and kids and I'm like, people go.
Yeah, I mean,
But
the OC fair.
there are a lot of people there, so the fact that they would be in the same line right behind one another, no.
Unless if she's doing some detective work and she's like, hiding between a few
Yes.
tents to see where they are.
That's what I'm
Right.
thinking.
Yeah.
That's
no,
what
truly.
I'm
I love a good crazy person. But
And
that's
you guys think Bravo's not going to put this woman on reality TV? Come on.
they've got Meghan calling up hospitals and labs.
dude.
That's true. That's true.
We haven't discussed you, Meghan, in this episode. I mean, she was by herself.
She was there. She's always the only one doing her own makeup.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone else has a makeup artist. She's the only one always doing her own makeup.
Yeah, she didn't really give us anything this episode. It's kind of like,
She
I'm
gave
alone
us
again.
a face mask.
Yeah.
She did.
She's like, I'm alone again. I'm like, all right. We got you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a lot of other information to cover this episode.
We did. We had a plethora.
Yes. So let's talk about news and gossip.
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
We've been gossiping,
Groundbreaking.
but let's break some news. Christy, what do you got?
Well, I told you all last week about this sit-down interview that Andy had with Brooks. And we implied we were guessing that he was probably paid a little moolah.
Oh, yes.
And we know he got a trip at a first class in the 5-star hotel. He also reportedly got paid $10,000 for this interview. Can you guys believe it? Do you think it's
pretty
worth
price.
that to get those answers?
Wow.
I'd pay $10,000 to know if he really had cancer or not. But he better have broken out that book
For Bravo,
$10,000.
they could have paid like 5 times as much, I'm sure.
right?
Could have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Brooks. For Brooks.
For Brooks. For Brooks, too.
For Brooks, I think that was a pretty penny, I'd say.
Yeah. And if you all noticed, as I did, that the Housewives were kind of quiet the last week or so, not a lot of interviews out there and
Yeah.
stuff like that, it's because they shot the reunion last week. I think it was Thursday, maybe Friday. So that's why, they kind of put the muzzle on the ladies so that none of
Yeah.
that reunion stuff leaks out.
And
Top
Vicky
secrets.
has been working overtime on social media, posting pictures with her friends and that are not the housewives and using words like, bigger and brighter things and it's leading to questions if she's going to continue on the show. I think that it's just all like she's just like over the season and they can't really comment on if they're going to be brought back on because the show technically isn't picked up for the network. So apparently there's no Housewives of Orange County right now. But we all know, look, it's going to be season 11, right? God.
Right.
So,
She's starting her money ploy early. That's what's happening with that.
But she's definitely
smart
going
lady.
above and beyond to be like, look, I have all these wonderful friends who support me. And isn't this wonderful? And we're on Periscope and we're taking pictures at a restaurant together. She's really showing off.
I noticed that as well.
All right, Vic.
Yeah.
Good luck with that, honey.
I don't know about this one-on-one with Brooks.
Brooksy.
I don't know. It better be. I'm telling you, it really better be worth it. I want to see some news broken in this.
Yeah,
When
and when
is
are we
it?
going to see it? That's what we don't know. I assume it will be part of the reunion. It was kind of explained that because he wouldn't come to the reunion, he didn't want to deal with all the ladies, but that's why they did this. So maybe they'll throw to it on the reunion, or maybe it'll end up being a Watch What Happens Live one-on-one special like
that'd
we
be
saw
great.
tonight.
Right.
In which case, they better break it out soon, maybe next Monday.
But has he watched these reunions though? I mean, if he goes, Andy kind of holds.
He's been to them.
Yeah, so Andy kind of holds court. I mean, how vicious these ladies really going to be? It's Andy who dictates the direction of the conversation. Of course, they can, and they will spar a little bit. But I mean, wouldn't you want to go and set it
running
straight?
away behavior.
But
Yeah.
I guess
That says
it,
a lot
yeah.
that he wouldn't show.
And if you're not showing up at the reunion, you're probably not going to make 10K. If you show up by yourself, you probably make 10K. So.
There you go.
Yeah.
He learned some financial tips from Vicky.
There you go. There
She
you go.
probably will be
So
proud.
hold out for more.
I also read that he's been asking around and talking to people about how much do you think I could make on the publicity of me going on a date with someone?
What?
What?
Yes, supposedly this is kind of a fairly erroneous report, but do not be surprised if you see, photos of him holding some woman's hand leaving a restaurant anytime soon, and just know that he set up those shots and he got paid for them.
I want to know if
Could
Vicky-
happen.
Who would pay for that?
Oh my God, there's so much I want to say.
The Daily Mail.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I just, I don't know. Let's
Mind's
predict.
blown.
Let's predict.
I can't. I'm going to say so much.
Your AFTERBUZZ TV.
Man, what is there?
Well,
I think that Brianna may very well kill Brooks.
Oh,
a murder in Orange County.
I know he's alive, but
Yeah.
she's just so angry that I'm anxious, I have anxiety over what may happen
You
between
guys,
the two of
it's
them.
the season finale next week.
Yes.
crazy.
And it's a baptism. Tamara's going to get all wet in the public in a white dress. I don't know. Hopefully,
Finally, we've been waiting all
hopefully she
season.
did some
Grant,
tests.
it's angelic.
Hopefully she did some tests just to make sure we're not seeing details on the set.
Well, she did wear a very, very revealing outfit at her at the sex tape
sex
party.
party. Oh,
So,
yeah. Right.
you know, it's totally possible that she could give a
very
rat's
Tamara.
Yeah, I
booty.
remember that hot tub scene she had with Eddie.
Oh yes. How could we forget?
Yeah, so she shouldn't give it.
They would put that
She
on
not
camera, but
shy.
they didn't have a joint checking account. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, I want to point out real quick next week that Vicky's friend, some woman, is going to get involved sparring with Shannon.
Oh, that was
Yes.
the brothers. That was the brothers' girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
so
she
even
didn't
more
look very
evidence that the brothers
OC.
down for
She didn't
Brooks.
look very OC.
No, she did not. I agree.
Oh, so yeah, she's got her little attack dogs there now.
Yeah.
So next week will be good. You'll have to check out, along with us, the season finale. And of course, there's many more weeks to come with the reunion specials. So we're not going anywhere.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Yes. Where can we
Yes.
tweet you guys? Where can we find you? What are you doing?
Yes, I have been Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
I'm Alison Dean. You can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean.
And I would really appreciate if you guys would subscribe to my YouTube channel at Christy Reports, and also check out ChristyReports.com. I'm going to be staying on all this stuff. Even when Housewives goes off the air, I run into these ladies on the red carpet. I'm going to make sure I get you all the details.
And you guys can find me tweeting over on Twitter at Grants__rants and ranting on my podcast, Grants Rants Hollywood Talk. We just put out a fall TV episode. It's really good. We're talking about upcoming season of Beverly Hills Housewives, a little bit of OC. So check it out. That'll do it for us for the Real Housewives of Orange County.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.